Alright, we are going to play some Cold Waters. This is a game I've been waiting for a long, long time. Matter of fact, I didn't even know it was out until Damn, I forget to do that. This is a game I've been waiting for. Alright. Anyway, this is a game I've been waiting for a long, long time. Ever since I put my Commodore 64 up to out to pasture, and I wasn't able to play Red Storm Rising. Now, I've taken a little bit of a look at this, and it's been a long time. And there's some things that are real familiar. There's some things I can't forget. But I'm going to have to relearn all the controls. I'm going to have to get used to the things that they've done differently. This is just basic things and facts. So tonight I'm going through all the tutorials, and I'm going to try to ease back into this. Now, I really wish Twitch and YouTube had been around, say in 1989, 1990, when I was playing Red Storm Rising at least once a day. And if I have to admit, Sid Meier owes me a little bit more time than that. I wish I could show you my most epic runs. We'll start off with a little bit of a story. I was playing Red Storm Rising, and I was playing it at all the high levels. I was going for the Congressional Medal of Honor, and I'll tell you the story about how I got mine. I was playing the campaign, and I was chasing the Kiev. I got caught out of position, and I had to come rather than intercepting it. It was a stern chase, and so when it dumped me into the mission, I was chasing the Kiev instead of being out in front of it, and it was at about 45, 50,000 yards, heading away from me at all the speed she could muster while zigzagging. If it had been zigzagging, I'd have been in trouble. But she was pushing about 26, 28 knots. And I was in my Sturgeon playing in 1992. Well, I figure, what the heck? I dived to the bottom. I set my depth at 900. Set speed to 30. Do a little quick calculations because I was taking physics at the time. Got out my old stopwatch. Set a timer. Went back to the galley to make me some lunch. It's going to be a long run. I think I calculated it out at, well, you figure a speed differential of 6 knots an hour, 6 miles. Figure I was 40,000, that's 2. Figure this is going to be a long run. So when I was sitting here, I kind of, played with the speed settings and whatnot. Anyway, the alarm went off. Made for the surface layer. Surfaced. Or the surface layer. It didn't surface. Not yet. That's the important part. And try to use my active, or my passive sonar. Think anything. A weak duct. There's poor sonar conditions all around. I figured, I missed the time. They made a change, course change or whatnot. I'm getting impatient. I'm, all of 18 years old. So I surface at the radar. I surfaced right in the middle of the Kiev battle group. Right smack dab in the middle. I fire off 2 Mark 48s at the Kiev and a harpoon at the Sovereignty and the Utiloi, and I dive. I dive right away. There are 4 ships. I try not to worry too much about the cannon and the Krivak. I want to get the big guys first. And by luck and by skill, I managed to sink all 5 ships. I mean, it was crazy. Noisemakers and Knuckles and every ounce of skill and every ounce of luck I had, I poured into that one mission. But it told me one thing, that I could definitely make a timed speed run. I could. Took a long time. It asked me to quit a couple times. I didn't. And like I said, maybe if I had better sonar conditions, it wouldn't have been so frantic. But came away with no damage on Elite and a Sturgeon, surfacing in the middle of the Kiev battle group. I think maybe there's something in the simulation that simulated the sheer stunning shock that an American sub would just pop up in the middle of a Russian battle group. Oh, hi, here I am. It was hilarious. Alright, so let's get to the mission now. Oh wait, the chatbot's acting up. Hold on, let me get the chatbot up. Hey, Figwent. Alright, so the chatbot is up. I can see the viewers over here. That's pretty cool. Glad I can do that. Bye, Figwent. Anyhow, let's get to it. We're playing Cold Waters. And we're just doing the training missions today. I'm going to redo them all. I got about halfway through them last night. So, basic torpedo. Most submarine commanders are submarine captains are commanders. I found that out last night too. I've been assigned the Grayling, which is kind of appropriate. Let's see, they don't even give me a choice of Mark 48s. Alright, it'd have been nice. Alright, well, contact. Now, it doesn't show me the contact because I don't really have a good contact. Does it even let me? Oh, good. Do I cavitate at 10 knots? Yeah. Okay, periscope is 0, and once the periscope is erased... Oh, there's my periscope! You can see it sticking out of the water. Oh, there it is. So we rotate our periscope, and once we put it on the middle of it, we can use I to mark the target with laser range finding. So now I can we're going to fire a weapon, which is the space bar, and then right click to fire a torpedo. I'm going to go ahead and fire 2 because firing 2 is better than firing 1. 1 should be enough, but there's my torpedo. And the torpedo is hit. Boom. And the Russian transport has been sunk. You can even see the oil spilling out. It's an environmental disaster. Alright. So we have done a good job. Now we're going to do wire guided torpedoes. Now wire guided torpedoes are fun. I'm sorry. There's not many things better about Red Storm Rising than wire guided torpedoes. Now this one is showing us that we can go into the big map. Wire guided torpedoes are pretty easy. And it says just do a bearing on 20,000 color yards away. Sad thing is, I don't think it's that far away. See, you know, it says 8.3 kiloyards away, so that would have been way too far, 20,000. I think they mean 2. That being said, we can pick it up. And move it over here. Now we got a really good track on the Comsomol. That's why we have the red box and the dots. It's like, we're like, oh no, there's a torpedo out there. And we're all like, yep, there's a torpedo out there. Now we can cut the wire. We can activate torpedo. Or we can edit the waypoint. Well, we already can edit waypoints. You can also steer it directly using your keypad, as long as the wire is intact. The torpedo has the transport. There's my torpedo heading towards it. Camera is kind of shaky sometimes. The camera does not always remember which way you pointed it. Sync 1 Ruski troop carrier. Okay. Even generates an intercept plot. Oops. That's one thing I gotta get used to. Now we're going to activate that one a lot earlier. As you can see, my torpedo is going to go do a side-to-side search. I don't really want it to do that. So I'm going to tell it to straighten it. Oh, sorry, it's in Alpha Centauri mode. Alright, weapon 2. Activate. Boom. No explosion this time. Oh, there it is. And we have sank the Russian transports. Alright, leave combat. We have done our duty. Now, missiles in Red Storm Rising were problematic. At the easier levels, they were devastating. And at the harder levels, well, you just didn't pack any. Yeah, unless you were playing 688i easy mode. Issue. Not saying calling anybody's names. I mean, it could be worse. You could only play Seawolf. You know, but if you were a real sturgeon man, you really wanted it hard. You had to, leave the Tomahawks at home. The Russians would shoot him down. You could take a cannon with them, but that's like you see a cannon with an ASRock, for crying out loud. Oh, we gotta go back. Right? No. I had a mistake of it. Missiles. Start. Alright. Now in this case, they want us to take a look at this. And they want us to load up missiles. Trying to remember how to do this now. Oh, right, R. Not used to that yet. There we go. All hands, man, battle stations. Now, this introduces time compression, and it's something that I rarely ever use. Or I did in Red Storm Rising. Now, whether I'm going to use it here, I don't know. So we fired off a regular harpoon. And now it's showing the harpoon, or the new tomahawk, being loaded in. And whatever I hit, I sink. Now it tells me to fire the tomahawks at the other two. Okay, why am I not? Now see, a TASM gets a little higher of a pop. All right. Now navigation's a little trickier than it was with Red Storm Rising. It's I can't imagine using a lot of this stuff. You'd think Q and E would be that, but it's not. It's okay. Planes are down. We're going to go down to a depth of about 300 feet. You kind of have to guesstimate when to steady out because this game introduces inertia. And Red Storm Rising, when you said go to 300 feet, you'd be 300 feet. See, I want to come up a bit. Now I'm deep enough that 15 knots won't make me cavitate, so I will not be making a lot of noise. 15 knots is pretty good. Although at 15 knots, my sonar still doesn't work that well. Now, the time says I can kick it up a notch. I'm moving at 15. We'll go for a while. I like how the bearing shows your camera, not your actual ship. You gotta look at your course. Slow down to 5 knots. See if I can pick up any contacts. I know they're out there. Give a chance for the sonar to work. I wonder if I can make 20 knots without cavitation. Nope. Well, this is just a training mission. And it is just, oh, right. That's interesting. Now, I know they put somebody way out there, so you have to practice the time compression. Get a little more speed underneath the water. There it is. Oh, we didn't. Alright, let's think an alligator. See if we can see the missile come in. Oh, I think I see it. Yep, there it is. Wow. I have to admit, the visuals on this are really, really great. You know, I mean, it's always fun to see the little 8-bit ship sink into the water. But, you know, we can do everything we can on this little panel over here now and get a big cinematic. It's not where you have to have one or the other, and so in Red Storm Rising, odds are if you're playing at Elite, you turned off the cinematic because the game was still going during it, or you'd lose all your dots, or you'd lose all your tracks. That was always a pain. Resizing was a pain because you'd lose your track. That even includes the 16-bit on the IBMs. Every time you resize, you lost your track. You didn't remember your track. Alright, well that was a really cheap way to do it, but... Target motion analysis. Alright, we got contact Sierra S1. So now we're going to classify it using target signature analysis. And it's almost always a boat. That's close, but it looks like it's a Cosmosol. We have a faint line here, a strong line here, and 3 solid lines here. So now that we know what it is, we can get like a firmer grip on it. And rather than stopping at 50, it'll go as high as 75. Now it says it's set for 2/3 of the speed, but that's not going to work because we're still at what? 50 feet? We cavitate it. We'll cavitate it anything higher than 5. So we ought to set the bow planes down if we want to actually approach it. So let's head for about 250 feet and we'll go up to 15 knots. Now it's constantly turning, or it's got to go in a circle. And what that's showing is that the aspect range will change from being strongest on the sides from sonar from the best reflection, a little bit toward the aft because of how loud the propeller is, to the least when it's pointing right toward you with the bow, because it's got the least amount of space and it's hiding the propeller. Now this is something that Red Storm Rising actually simulated very well, because I cannot count the number of frickin' cannons that would would just like be like, oh, they're heading right toward me. That's why I couldn't hear them until they were at 5,000 away. Guess I should check the sonar conditions. Yeah, I went below the layer. Layer's at 150 feet, so we should go back up. I did not know that. I kind of want to know what time, what level 15 stops cavitating at. But we're not going to find out, are we? Okay, we have the Cosmosol again at 1424, range 18.1 kiloyards. Now we're just following the instructions on here. I would never do this. If I was going to be booking it like this, I'd be at like 800 feet doing a timed run. Yeah, we're much closer. We're only, well, we don't know how far we are at, but we're a lot closer. We're like that much closer. How much? We should be able to get a pretty good solution on it. I mean, I just want to chuck a harpoon at it, but the point kind of is to try to practice trying to get a really, really solid solution. So you gotta be real close to get a super solid contact here, it looks like. And I can't imagine at 10,000 kilojars we can't get a solution above 30%. But it's not going down. No. Come up a little bit more out of the layer. Oh, now we even have a bearing or course. And, you know, that'll be good enough for me. It might have actually missed. My missile might have missed. It was pretty close in. So we'll have to sink it with torpedoes. We know how much I hate torpedoes. Now, the interesting thing about this is you can only have 2 wires. I'm not too sure why we're losing the thing. They're running. All right. Sensors in mass. All right. Okay, we have an Andazan. Okay, we've already used our periscope. missed. Alright, well, it looks like we also sank the alligator. That should be it. So we had our first weapons malfunction too. Ship desk can use to be toggled silent running mode, which reduces yours, stops all repairs, stops all pumping of water from flooded compartments, stops reloading, reduces speeds to ahead 1/3. this is a new aspect over Red Storm. You couldn't really do repairs at sea. You just had to hope whatever was damaged you could do without for a while, and then hope you didn't have to go back into battle, or you could go back to Holy Lock and get your ship fixed up. It was about 12 to 18 hours, depending on what was damaged too. Many times you could win a Pyrrhic victory. You'd stop a 100 attack squadron, only to have to go to Holy Lock and repair and spend so much time there that you lost Reykjavik or Narvik. Alright. So that's really all we wanted to cover tonight. I'm going to go ahead and turn this to easy just because I want to see how it plays. Eventually I want to get to elite. That might take a while, but I get used to the controls. So we're going to start off by dueling an SSN. Something's gone wrong. I'm not getting any response from the game. Yeah, it didn't work either. Well, we'll go ahead and reboot it. So just a one-off sturgeon. Skipjack, permit, sturgeon, LA, I don't have LAI. We'll take an LA. Alright, so we actually have a whale out there. Now we're coming around slowly to not interfere with the towed array. It says it's 10,000 yards away. I could fire 2 torps at about 5 and have a pretty good shot at hitting it. Okay, he's cavitating, so it's gotta be closer than I think it is. Or maybe not. He's loud and cavitating. One thing it's not telling me is its depth. I was saying that red storm gave you in the stuff. You see the torpedoes closing in. No wonder I lost Total Ray. Went above the layer. He's slightly below it. Both torpedoes are on screen. Impact. It's sinking faster than my torpedo could track it. As it hit bottom, I thought maybe it would crush. Alright, well that was moderately entertaining. I mean, it was no real challenge, but... I mean, obviously I should have been reloading tubes and whatnot. Look, it's a whale. This thing they wanted to add in the IBM version of Red Storm Rising, but they never did get around to it. If you go into the code, you can see the stuff is in there, but they never did add it to the mission creation software. Did you give me an after action report? Like points and stuff? No. The algorithm that Micro Pros used was arcane and bewildering. We never quite figured it out. We kind of had a feeling there were points for ships and how long you stayed undetected and whether or not you got hit, but sometimes the particulars kind of got away from us. Alright, well that's our first adventure with Cold Waters, and I will be practicing over the next couple of days, and we will kind of go through these on easy, and then we will go through it on casual, and then we will go through it on regular, and then finally, hopefully, by the time my birthday hits in September, I will be back on top of the Submariner's world. That's the goal. I'm also going to check out the mods. It's a little easier at the beginning to play Seawolves and SSS 688 Eyes. A little bit more forgiving. But eventually I want to become once again the best darn sturgeon captain in the world. I was really proud of the fact that the 92 campaign, which was the latest, which was the most technologically hard, I could play the sturgeon, the least amount of weapons with the loudest of the ships, and you can't get the permit then. 88 was the last year for permit. But I could do 92 sturgeon on the top level and bring my boat home almost every single time without a lick of damage. Every now and then I'd take a hit and I'd have to give up a mission or have to go back to Holy Lock. But 9 campaigns out of 10, my sturgeon would come through that campaign without a scratch. Alright then, well I appreciate the 2 of you that dropped in to watch. I do appreciate that. I really appreciate the fact that Chatbot lets me see you guys. And that's really cool. Because I don't mind lurkers, and I don't mean to embarrass anybody who is lurking. But I do like to know who my lurkers are. That way, if I have anything to give away, and maybe for my birthday, if I can work hard enough or get a new job, I can give away this. I would love to. I would love to spread the joy of submarine combat the world over. Anyway, that's it, and I'll have to think of a new catchphrase for cold waters. If I can get Ace Crew to play us again, we could, since it is a spiritual suggestion or successor to Red Storm Rising, maybe we could have we could have an attitude check. Those of you who are familiar with the book Red Storm Rising know exactly what I mean. All right, then. I appreciate you guys. And if you catch this on Glyn's Arcade on the archive, give it a look at. This is a really good game. You know, it really captures most of what I enjoyed about the original Microprose game Red Storm Rising.